KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
You ready?
It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Last night I cried, tossed and turned. Woke up with dry eyes, my mind was racing, feet were pacing. Lord help me, please tell me what I have gotten into. Ran my 3 miles to clear my mind. It always helps me out. It's my therapy when I'm losing it, which is usually, hey.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. Of course, I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you all Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on your ride home. It's not too much traffic out there. It's a little bit, you know. Don't go to Inglewood. Well, a little bit of traffic out there, but it's a nice day. I hope if you are in traffic, if you are in your car, I hope that you are having yourself a lovely time listening to our show. And I appreciate you tapping in with us here on the Raw Report. Good to see you, Raw Squad, checking in already on our YouTube chat. Yes, that's always a beautiful thing. Shout out to the NAACP dinner that's happening right now over in Hollywood at the Palladium over there. When I tell you Black excellence, I had a chance to stop by before I came to the show. I was doing a whole lot today. You know, clearly I'm out here in these streets, okay, in these entertainment streets. But I was able to talk to some incredible people, as always. And if you guys remember, the vice chair who I interviewed here on the Raw Report, her name is Karen Boykin-Town. She was there on the carpet. I was able to introduce myself. It was great to see her there and to see how fulfilled she is just being there in the center of Black excellence. And I was able to talk to a lot more people, so there will be some things that I'll bring you to the show very, very, very soon. But right now, there's some updates you should know about. SWV and Escape, their Bravo reality show, has been renewed for season 2. If you remember, my girl, Coco, we had her on the show. She was just breaking it down, talking about some of the things that have been going down for season 1. Hopefully, we get her back season 2. It doesn't look like Latasha is going to be a part of this season, though. Tasha, who is part of Escape, doesn't look like she's on the flyer, so maybe we'll get a separate interview with her and find out outside of her music. She started doing a whole bunch of other things, gospel music. So outside of that, see what else she's up to. Do you know, tell me if you feel old on this one. Love Jones, the movie Love Jones is 27 years old today. 27. I bet you feel old. And the reason I say that is so many people are like, Love Jones is my jam. Like, that's my favorite show, or my favorite movie, rather. And I hear you, but that was 27 years ago. So I'm just go ahead and set that down to the side right there. If you are a fan, like I am a fan of the Power universe, the whole Power verse is really an incredible thing that they have put together. Courtney Kemp, 50 Cent, of course. Power Book 2, Ghost. You have to enjoy your 4th and final season that's going to come up, because Starz did announce today that they are canceling that show. And it is such a good one. Michael Rainey Jr., who we've been closely related to for some years, ever since Power has come out. All of them, we used to do an after show for Power. So we had all the people come on, and we had built a relationship since, they first started. So it's sad to see that it's going away. But Michael says, don't trip, because we'll be back somewhere else. And I'm sure he's going to go on to do some amazing things. So shout out to all of them for keeping us entertained. Andy, let's go ahead and get into the Rob Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Ooh-wee. Okay, so today, I was so happy to open up my social media and see Regina King's face posted all on social media, on different outlets, and she's finally speaking out about her grief and the process that she had gone through after losing her son who took his own life. It was a huge deal. It still is a huge deal, and it is a very sad thing. But she talks about how she's making her way through it, and we've since seen Regina King come back up into the business. She's been directing. She's been a part of several projects. But this is the first time she's opening up to talk about him and that process that she had gone through. And so I think it's an inspiring conversation that we'll have with our entertainment contributor, who I'm so excited to have on the line with us today. We're also going to get into Draya Michele, who I steered clear of that conversation for a little while, but it isn't until she posted something today that was a little sad for me to see. It was sad. She is a human being, but we got to talk about it. This woman is now pregnant. I announced that the other day. She's pregnant by 22-year-old Jalen Green's by him, and she's pregnant with his child. She is 39 years old. He's 22 years old. So she's catching all kinds of heat online, but it's not just that. That is not the only reason that Draya is catching it online. We'll discuss why she's catching it online, but also to talk about if there's a double standard out here and if it's fair, because at the end of the day, she's a woman and she's a pregnant woman. So I'll tell you what she said on the other side. We'll also talk about maybe some of those double standards. And maybe if you guys have been watching Love is Blind, I know me and my contributor, we've been all up on it. We've been watching Love is Blind. There was a very special moment that happened on the reunion, which came out yesterday. It was a very special moment that 2 black men on the show had. So even if you aren't familiar with the show or you don't watch it, that's fine. You'll still appreciate the conversation surrounding these 2 black men. So we'll get to that on the other side. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Real. Right now, I'm hanging out with Robin on the Raw Report. That's right.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77, I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer, so I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Raw Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I am so excited to have on the line with me today, Cheyenne Corinne. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hey, girl. How are you? I feel like it's been forever.
It has been forever. That's why I'm so excited to well, I'm always excited to have you on, but today is extra special. I'm like, I get Cheyenne Corinne.
Oh, stop it.
It's so good to have you on, and I love the fact that you have also been watching Love is Blind, because we're going to get into a little bit of that in just a moment. I see Lavelle over in our YouTube chat says he watched the reunion, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. So then Lavelle, I'm sure, will understand why that conversation I feel is so important between the two black men on there. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Briefly, I do want to jump right into this Regina King interview that she did with Robin Roberts. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was extremely happy to see her finally opening up, because I do feel like, Cheyenne, you tell me your thoughts. When we go through things in life, of course, we have to get through it. You know, recently I had gone through something very, very, it was a lot. It was a lot of pressure, just, you know, with my own health and everything. But once you get through something, I feel that it's so necessary to talk about it and to share whatever your experience is, and hopefully resources or tips or even just your energy, your light, and showing that you got through it, because that helps somebody else. So when I saw Regina appear on this interview and she's opening up about the grief process, I felt like I was so happy, because I'm sure that her talking about this is going to open it up for someone else. But before I get you to chime in on this, let's go ahead and listen to just a small clip of what she was saying on her interview.
You know, I'm a different person, you know, now than I was January 19th. Grief is a journey, you know. I understand that grief is love that has no place to go. I know that it's important to me to honor Ian in the totality of who he is. I speak about him in the present, because he is always with me, and the joy and happiness that he gave all of us. When it comes to depression, that people expect it to look a certain way, and they expect it to look heavy and people expect that
it's okay.
To have to experience this and not be able to have the time to just sit with Ian's choice, which I respect and understand, you know, that he didn't want to be here anymore. And that's a hard thing for other people to receive because they did not live.
She goes on and you know, continuing to talk about her son. As you know, or may not have known, it was 2 years ago that her son, Ian Alexander Jr., took his own life. And it had been 2 years since she's spoken out about this. And I felt like it was heartwarming. I thought it was beautiful and it's so insightful for anybody who might be dealing with any sort of grief. She said, grief is love that has no place to go. Cheyenne, give me your thoughts on just the fact that it's her, Regina King is who she is, and the fact that she's opening up about this for the first time.
I mean, I'm just, you know, glad to see her because, like you said, she hasn't spoken out in so long. And I'm also glad that Robin did the interview because she was just, you know, just so patient and, you know, delicate of the situation. But I think that it's important to, you know, talk about grief. You know, we talk about so many other things in life except for, like, the one thing that we all are going to experience at one point. Which, like, I get it because it's a scary thought. But I think, you know, talking about it can really comfort a lot of people that are going through the same thing and prevent other people, because a lot of people who are grieving also do, you know, die by suicide the way her son did too, you know, because of that heavy feeling, that depression. So like grief, and I feel, you know, grief and also, you know, mental health and suicide, that all really goes together. And it's just like not something people want to talk about. But I'm glad that she did it like on her own terms when she was ready to talk.
Yeah, I'm also glad about that. You know, I had just heard from it was a stranger actually. I think I read an article where this woman, she created a blog surrounding her father's dementia. And that's a very touching it's not a touchy subject, but it's touching and heartfelt for me because my stepfather, who has passed away 3 years ago, or 4 years now, he also suffered from dementia as well. But she was saying how her father normalized the conversation around death. And she said, so by the time that he passed on, she was able to sort of take care of business. Of course, you grieve and all of that, but it didn't feel heavy. It didn't feel like it was just overwhelming and too much because the father got them comfortable with having those types of conversations. Do you feel, because like, I know mental health is sort of, you know, I hate to call it this, but I feel sometimes like it's a bit trendy and people just lean into that because it's a trending topic. But, isn't it important to make mental health and things that sometimes we push away and not really want to talk about? Isn't it important to make those a part of everyday or regular maybe conversation so that we can be comfortable with our family members, we can be comfortable with our community, talking about those types of things so that when they do happen, we can get through them, we can get the right, you know, therapy or whatever it is that we need, but move on from it.
I definitely agree. Like, I know for myself, you know, I definitely have like a fear of, you know, death. And, you know, at my age, I haven't experienced, you know, horrible grief and loss yet. And that scares me because my first big loss, you know, recently I had a semi-close loss, but not near, you know, what, you know, Regina is feeling in this moment. But I'm like, what is going to happen when I experience that, like, loss? Because it just, you know, usually people have experienced some type of loss, you know, throughout their life and know how to, you know, at least how it feels. So I'm always shook about, you know, how will that shake me, you know, when it does happen to someone that I care about. And I think that it would be helpful to, like, know what it looks like. You know, I even feel like hearing from Regina was very, you know, helpful about, you know, it's a process and, you know, those feelings. And I think if more people talked about it, other people would kind of, just have a little bit of guidance on it. I mean, you're gonna feel how you're gonna feel, regardless. But just have some guidance and know that it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah, very, very well said. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm happy she did it. She got it out the way. I hope nobody else continues to try to come after Robin Roberts and ask her any questions about it. I think she did a great, thorough job. And now it's like, okay, I know the public has been waiting for me to speak on it. I'm speaking on it. Let me get back to my wonderful career. Let me continue to live my life. Let me continue to honor Ian the way that I should. And now it's done, so I'm happy for her. I'm so excited to see her continue her amazing career. And again, I hope that she has helped someone with that conversation. So definitely shout out to Regina King. Okay. Cheyenne, I tried to stay away from Draya. I tried to stay away from the conversation.
Man.
I did. I mentioned it on this show. Okay, for those people who do not know who Draya Michele is, she is a woman who I believe initially people got to know her because she was a cast member on the reality show Basketball Wives. But with that being said, she was tied to some NBA players in the past. She had been tied to quite a few people. And but what I got to say is she got sort of a bad rep on that show. But the more we got to know Draya on the show, I began to like her. I took a liking to her. I like how she processed things. I like her mentality. And she also showed us the process of what it was like to start a bathing suit line. So if you've ever heard of Mint Swim, that's Draya Michele's, her company. It did really well because she started it on TV. I always say, if you have an opportunity to be on TV, start a project and then get it going because people want to go through that journey with you. And that's exactly what she did. So Draya was able to become successful in her own right. She became an actress. She had done a couple of films as well. So this is who Draya Michele is. She's a model, actress, entrepreneur. Well, but she does have a past, and people are bringing that up all online. People are, now that she's mentioned she is pregnant by 22-year-old Jalen Green, people are giving her hell for it, and it's not okay. She mentioned today, Cheyenne, on a post, she said, "I feel like I am at the bottom of a pile of heavy humans. Most hours of the day, I feel like I'm struggling to breathe." And I couldn't believe the comment section. They were still like, they had all kind of nasty, negative things to say. And this is somebody who sounds like she's like, waving a white flag. She's trying to be out here telling you guys, I'm hurting. I'm, having a hard time processing all this hate that I'm getting. What do you feel about this whole Draya and Jalen thing? Is it like, okay, they're two grown-ups at this point, he's 22, he is a grown-up, let them live their life? Or is it like, Draya, some people are saying she knew what she was doing when she, got with Jalen because he's got money and all this stuff. Where do you sit with that, number one?
I feel like it's a little kind of disgusting because, like, I am 29. I'm aging myself. I'm 29, but I probably wouldn't even date someone that young, and so that says a lot. So I am kind of wondering, what do these two people have in common this age? I heard one girl say something, and I really liked that. She said, after 25, it's fair game. And, or like, because I do feel like it's two different things, being in your early 20s and being in your late 20s. Completely different things.
Yeah.
And, there's things that I would do, in my early 20s that I'm like, what in the world? I do feel like there is something that happens, later, when you're in your late 20s, your 30s, someone's 20 years older. It's like, okay, you guys are in a different position. I obviously don't, like, we were just talking about mental health. I mean, he is an adult at the same time, and she is as well. So for her to be getting, completely treated like this, especially when she's kind of expressing that, I don't know, those sound like suicidal thoughts a little bit to me. You know, so I do think that, you know, you can take it easy when you see a pregnant woman, you know, talking about feeling like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a side-eye situation.
I think you said it best. I mean, it seems as though, like, when I think about what the standards are for society, it seems as though the older you get, if there is an age gap, it doesn't matter so much as when you're younger. Like 22 is very young. So maybe that is the issue. I don't know if that's the issue, or in conjunction with the fact that it's a woman who's older than the man, because that brings up all kinds of questions, you know, the double standard. We were just talking recently about Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, who are out here having babies, newborns, with very, very young women, and they are in their 70s and 80s. And though people kind of poked fun a little bit of these men, it still wasn't like taboo. And I feel like people are looking at Draya like it is absolutely taboo for her to have gotten with Jalen Green. So in your opinion, is there a double standard out here?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a double standard, because I'm like looking at all of these guys on social media like go in on Draya, and I'm like, you guys are quiet as a mouse any other time these old men be talking to these young girls. Like, where are all the tweets then? You know, because that happens every day, and I never, ever see this type of outrage. It's always like, we just, like, it's not for us to comment on. Like, we just go mind our business. So it's definitely like, you know, keep that same energy when the men are doing it, because it's the exact same situation. It's just that people have different perceptions, you know, based on their own little agendas.
Definitely. Andy, what did you want to say?
Marcus Houston.
Marcus Houston. Oh, yeah, Marcus Houston.
I'm just saying there was a lot of flack that we gave him too.
I don't think he got it that bad.
He
like,
got it bad, but not as bad as
comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like you had to like you can't miss this. I feel like you could have missed the Marcus Houston stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about Marcus Houston and that whole situation on this show. Yeah, I think he caught it. I'm not sure that he caught it as bad. He did catch it pretty bad though, because he was with his now wife before she was of age, and so that was a different reason that he caught hell, because she was very, very young. She wasn't even of age yet. Okay, well,
too, yeah.
When we come forward, we're gonna jump into this Love Is Blind conversation, because I really want to get to that. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Rob Report.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wayne. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A former member of a longtime funk band that had its greatest success in the early 80s has reportedly died. TMZ reports former Gap band member Anthony Baby Gap Walker died as a result of complications from a neck surgery, stating that Walker's brother confirmed the news. Walker joined the Gap band around the time of the group's biggest hits, including Burn Rubber, Party Train, and You Dropped a Bomb on Me. Walker later joined Gap X, which is comprised of former Gap members. Gap X posted a tribute to Walker on their Instagram page. Walker was 60 years old. Megan Thee Stallion is gearing up for a tour this summer. On Wednesday, the rapper announced the Hot Girl Summer Tour, which kicks off in May. Although she hasn't shared the official dates, she did say she'll be hitting New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, and Phoenix, among other cities. Megan said the official dates will be announced soon. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Over in Monrovia on the 210 West at Huntington Drive, watch for an accident currently on the right shoulder, and heavy traffic is coming from Mountain Avenue. In Pacific Palisades, Caltrans currently has the right lane blocked, with no estimated time of reopening on PCH North after Sunset Boulevard. And right now, stop traffic is going to set you back for about 20 minutes from Temesco Canyon Road. An hour and a half worth of heavy delays continue back in West LA on the 405 South between Wilshire Boulevard and Palo Verde Avenue. Hollywood's 101 South between Sunset Boulevard and Mission Road remains heavy over 25 minutes.
Count on the produce pros at Bonds & Albertsons to bring you savings on all your fresh favorites.
Right now, get medium-ripe Hass avocados for just 69 cents each with digital coupon on Vons or Albertsons.com. Limit 6, offer valid through March 19th.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For all the HBCU alumni in the Los Angeles area, here's a rundown on what's happening in the SWAC and MEAC men's and women's basketball tournaments. In the SWAC men's tournament, number 1 seed Grambling advanced to the semifinals with a win over Alabama State. Grambling will play Friday against the winner of today's Jackson State-Texas Southern matchup. In the SWAC women's tournament, number 1 seed Jackson State advanced to Friday's semifinals with a win over Prairie View. Jackson State will play either Arkansas Pine Bluff or Alabama A&M. In the MEAC, Norfolk State has the top seed in the men's and women's tournament. On the men's side, Norfolk State plays Friday against Howard or Morgan State. The Norfolk State women's team will play in Friday's semifinals against Coppin State or Maryland Eastern Shore. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
With your Los Angeles Public Library card, you can access the latest music, movies, audiobooks, ebooks, graphic novels, and more, all for free. Check it out at lapl.org/emedia. That's lapl.org/emedia.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey yo, I don't even know you and I hate you. See, all I know is that my girlfriend used to date you. How would you feel if she held you down and you? Tried and tried, but she never could escape you. She was in love and I'd ask her how. I mean, why? What kind of love from a would black your eye? What kind of love from a every night make you cry. What kind of love from it make you wish he would? I mean, bought you things and gave you diamond rings, but them things wasn't worth none of the pain that he brings.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Andy doesn't miss. Andy don't miss. Yeah.
That wasn't love, baby girl. You was dreaming. I could have told you when you said your seed was growing from his seed. Blind, and it'll take over your
Yes. Oh my gosh, that album, that song. Oh man, that's Eve. Love is Blind. Wow. Okay, we are getting into our Love is Blind conversation. Andy just don't miss. He just doesn't.
He don't.
You know what? I'm going to officially say it right now.
Okay.
Oh,
I've been slacking on my pimping my whole life. Ever since she came out. Eve is my number one female hip-hop artist of all time.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Wow.
You know, it's crazy. I saw a post on Instagram with Mr. FAB, rapper from the Bay, and I guess he had ran into Eve at some concert or something like that, and he talked about how much, you know, she was a crush for him or whatnot, and, you know, she was my celebrity crush for years, too, so it was just a trip. And then I was like, I follow her, but I barely see her post on Instagram, so I went on Instagram, and I was like, man, Eve is really out here doing it.
Yes, she is.
So
yes, she is.
it was just a reminder, like, you know what? I'm rocking with Eve, man. She my number one, straight up.
I love
Let me find out you
too.
like Philly, okay?
Go ahead, Andy. Represent.
Eve definitely represent.
Yeah, I love Eve, and I know she's coming out with her her autobiography or her memoir. Who's That Girl? I think it's Who's That Girl. Anyway, I know it's gonna be great. I'm gonna read that for sure. All right, Love is Blind. My goodness, the show, Netflix. If you watch it, great. If you don't, it's all good. It's a show where people go on there and they talk. They date different people through a wall in order to find the real love of their life without seeing the person. The whole goal is love should be blind. We shouldn't have to be attracted to someone physically in order to fall in love with them as a person, fall in love with their heart. So it's like, let's do it backwards. Let's talk to all these people, find out who they really are inside. Then once you settle in, the man, if he's found the one, he will propose to you from behind closed doors. He will propose to you, and then finally you get to meet, and hopefully you like what you see. I mean, and what we found out from the reunion last night was that 11 couples so far in 6 seasons have gotten married. 11 couples, and 9 are still together. So they're trying to prove that love is blind. Well, no problem if you haven't been watching the show, but I wanted to talk about this very special moment that happened between 2 of the men. One was from season 4, who got married, and he's still successfully married a couple of years later. And then one from this season, Clay, from season 6, who really the audience got to see him go through a range of emotions. He thought he was ready for marriage, but what came up in the process of trying to get married is learning that he's still holding so much baggage from his father. He when he was younger and his dad was still married to his mother, his father would take him on cheating dates. His dad would take his son along with him to cheat. And Clay didn't realize how wrong it was. And he never told his mother until they're going through this Love is Blind process. I mean, it was just a lot of baggage. And ultimately, he decided not to get married. And he opened up to Brett, the one from season 4. And he opened up about this moment. And I thought this was very special. Let's take a listen to it.
It's very documented. I didn't watch Love is Blind before I joined the show. Actually, it was funny when I seen AD and her mom. They put on Love is Blind season 4, and I was referring to Brett. I thought that Brett was, I just felt like he just did everything. Like, he said all the right things. He just kind of, he just like personified as a good black man, or a good husband, not even black man, just a good husband. And, you know, I just looked at him and I was like, I don't think that who I am could do what Brett did. So it was just like a little pessimistic thought. But even with that, you know, I give myself grace. I do it in my own way, and I'm not even happy with that comment, but the compliment is that I do think Brett is a stand-up guy, and I was just looking and, you know, thinking of that sense.
Well, we're lucky to have Brett and Tiffany with us here today.
Yeah.
Guys, How does that make you feel hearing that, Brett?
Ooh, I just want to say thank you, man. It's very humbling to hear, honestly. I don't know why I'm getting emotional talking because, like, I didn't really come from, like, the perfect household either in terms of my mom and my dad and their relationship. And there was a lot of things that I was concerned about how I would show up going through this experiment. And as a credit to her, like, she created the space for me to be the person that I knew that I could be. And, you know, it's very humbling to hear. But even going through everything, like, I had a lot of doubts and I was very concerned about, like, am I going to be a good husband? Yeah, we good now while we're filming, but, like, when the cameras are off, am I going to know how to show up? Like, am I really going to know how to be the husband that she expects me to be and the husband that I want to be? You know, hope I'm doing good.
You're doing great.
Yeah, man, it's very humbling to hear that, especially, you know, black man to black man. You know, I'm humbled. Thank you.
Cheyenne, I can't be the only one who thought that was such a powerful segment right there when you see two black men opening up and sharing about their childhood experiences and how it affects them going into marriage, hopefully a successful marriage one day. Give me your thoughts and what you think about the fact that I feel like we lack men, just in general, men talking about their struggles and hopes to kind of overcome them to help other men in the future with hopefully going into successful marriages. What do you think?
That was definitely, I think, touching, you know, just hearing that, you know, conversation, especially happening on like a platform like such as Netflix and it being real and raw. I think that conversation was great. Clay's dad, he needs to be ashamed of himself, but I think that it's a good lesson for a lot of other, you know, fathers, specifically black fathers, to realize it's not just about, you know, being a good dad and like showing up for your kids. It's also about like being a good partner, you know, and how you treat, you know, the mother of your children. Your kids will remember that, and it will either, you know, be a great experience for them or it will traumatize them. So, you know, not just being a good father matters. It also is important to, you know, treat, you know, their mother well, you know, even if that's together or not, but, you know, just with respect. I think the conversation was really good. I think that, you know, it sucks that, you know, in the midst of it, you know, with Brett, luckily, you know, he was healed to a point to where he was able to work through that trauma and still be, you know, a good partner and husband. But it definitely, you know, with Clay, I'm just like, you know, it sucks sometimes that like unhealed people like just carry that trauma, and now he done traumatized AD. You know, it's like, I think people have to be okay with, like, if you have, you know, demons you have to work through, just be alone. But don't mess somebody else up.
Oh, because, wow. I mean, the way it definitely seems like he has traumatized AD. I'll say this, though. You know what one of my biggest problems is about listening to all these relationship podcasts now? I mean, you could open up Instagram any day of the week and see 1,000 podcasts. People are sending them to me at this point. And I'm like, why are you didn't even say hello. You just sent me a podcast that you want me to see because everybody wants to share their opinions on relationships. But you know the biggest problem I have with this, Cheyenne? The fact that nobody talks about, if you are healed and you have great advice, nobody talks about how they got over that healing. Nobody goes back. Nobody goes backwards and talks about, you know, their experiences that other people could relate to. If you just opened up about some of the things that you've seen when you were growing up, people, that in and of itself is healing, because oftentimes we just want to know that there's somebody else who understands what I've seen, what I've been through. But now everybody's trying to show up and appear as an expert, and nobody wants to hear that, you know, like nobody wants to hear you talk about all the great things if you've never revealed some of the mess that you've went through. That's my problem with it.
That's true. No, it's true. It's like, let me know, like, how to get through this. What did you do to get there? And I'm a very solution oriented person. So it's like, we see the problem. The problem is trauma, whatever daddy issues. But like, how did you get over it? But it's nice to have the men, have that conversation. Yeah, definitely nice, because I think that it's really causes a lot, and I'm sick of the podcast too, because they just it's horrible. Like, I had a friend the other day tell me that she feels like her boyfriend isn't marrying her because he watched those podcasts all day, and I said, probably poison in his brain. Like,
oh my gosh. I guess the problem is, if we could vet all the different people who have access to their microphones and can start, podcasts, maybe that will be a bit better, because I'm not knocking, like, it is refreshing sometimes to turn on your camera or turn on your social media or whatever and see young people, Black people from different backgrounds. It's refreshing sometimes when you get insight just to different people and their experiences. That's kind of cool. But if it's the fact that everybody out here thinks that they are an expert. Marcus Atkins in our YouTube says, just because one had a mic and a podcast service doesn't make one an expert. And that is the problem. Everybody feels like their opinion is expert based, and that's not true. So I don't know how we can sort of, balance it out and vet them. I guess you just got to go through and see who you like and who you don't like. Andy?
Once again, there's a responsibility of the consumer. If you think what you're hearing is BS, then you move forward. You know what I'm saying? I think there's an opinion for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So if podcast A is talking about something that you don't agree with, there's going to be a section of the world that's going to rock with that. But you as the consumer, if you're not rocking with that, you dismiss it.
But the problem is,
agree.
I hear that, and I agree. Ultimately, I agree with you, Andy. I think the problem, though, is that we have too much content that we are consuming. We can't even process day to day. Do you know how difficult it is to be like, you have a bunch of things in your own life to get done, and you can't get them done because you have a million things in your head, because you see so much content, you hear so much. Cheyenne, I don't know if I'm out here, if you feel me on this or not, because you're a busy woman. You know what I'm saying? How do you listen to it all and then dump
to the
it?
point, like, I've been trying to intentionally, like, put some filters and stuff in my social media, like searching, different things, just so I can change, like, make sure the algorithm and stuff is positive, because it is too much content. And I don't want to see all of that all day. It makes you feel anxious, and especially, like you said, all of these opinions, and some of these opinions are fueled in hate. That's like what triggers me specifically, is like, like being hatred toward, a certain group, and all that type of stuff. Like, now there's really there's not too many regulations on, borderline hate speech and things like that. And
right.
I do definitely agree that I always say that people need to be like active consumers of content.
Yes.
But what I also have learned through my journalism and stuff is that we aren't taught that. I know part of my journalism was us learning how to be active consumers of media, of content, and doing those critical thinking skills and saying, does this sound right? But not everyone, most people haven't taken a class on how do I figure out if something is misinformation, and how do I do this.
That is
so
so
I think
good.
that it's easy to say, but it's like people don't know how to really do that. So it does, the content, there is a responsibility that, also the content has, because we know people don't know how to do that.
That right there, I'm gonna mentally take this down, and I need that to be a conversation one day. By the way, Andy is in there profusely agreeing with you. He's totally agreeing with what you say. You got to monitor the content that you watch, and listen to. That's why oftentimes people are like, Robin, what did you talk about on the show today or yesterday? And I'm like, I don't know, because I have to get it out of my head. I cannot keep things in my head anymore. I have to dump these things out because it's just overwhelming and too much. Andy?
So now I feel like we got to get deep, because because professionally you kind of have to be tapped in
to
what's cracking on social media.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because you present that to the world. Do you find it difficult because of your profession to remove yourself or to maybe detox from social media? from time to time, because I can see how straining that could be.
Ooh, that's such
Especially
a good one.
With Cheyenne talking about how social media can be toxic at the same time.
Cheyenne, can we keep you on the line for just because we got to finish out this conversation? Can we keep you? Okay, so on the other side, we have to address that because Andy, that is such a great question, and it's a great topic. We'll talk about that on the other side. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl BB, and you're listening to me on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Are you tired of being stuck without internet access? Connect and go with LA County Library. It's simple. Visit your local LA County Library location and borrow a hotspot for free to get Wi-Fi wherever you are.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Raw Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are here on the line with the guru here, the journalist.
Oh, please.
Cheyenne Curran. She said, oh, please. We're having a good conversation. There we go.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Andy brought up a really good, we're having this conversation about, what's out there on podcasts, what people are talking about, what's too much, how we have to censor it. And I was talking about the fact that I pretty much have to dump so much information because I input so much information. There is a difference between me seeing it and letting it go and seeing it and downloading it. There are differences.
Mm-hmm.
But it is true. You were talking about having to use a lot more filters and choosing, what you watch. But Andy asked the question about, as a professional, how to balance the two. How do you still stay with your finger on the pulse and your ear to the streets and know what's going on, all while balancing out, not being overwhelmed because of all the toxicity that's out there?
I feel like you really can't when you're in this industry. I feel like you can't unplug from social media unless you're off work. Like, I have tried to do it, but like literally as soon as my day starts, like for instance, I'm like, where am I going to go to look and find stories? Like, that's the first thing I do before I start a reporter shift is pitch stories. I got to first see what's going on for the day. So it's literally, and then not only that, it's also part of the job to share the news. So, when I'm out on breaking news, I need to be sharing on Twitter what's going on and letting people know what's happening. So it's like, it's a part of the job. So you can't really unplug. But what I have tried to do and what I'm like trying to do is, when I feel overwhelmed by social media is just using it professionally, just use it and go, post what you have to and go and do like less scrolling. Or what I did, I think it was over a month, like 2 months. TikTok is something new that I've been using. I'm on the road to 10K. I have like 9,000, so I've been working on it. But I was feeling just so anxious by social media, and I knew I needed Twitter for work and I needed Instagram for work. So I took like a month and a half hiatus from TikTok. It definitely got my algorithm all messed up, but I definitely felt too stimulated.
You are on it. I think that is exactly the point. Sometimes I go on a hiatus for weeks or a couple of months and people won't see me at all, which is fine by me. And I don't care if it's messing up my algorithm or not, because I like social media. I don't need social media. We have real lives, and, I'm not one who's like monetizing social media. Maybe I should a little bit more, but this is definitely a conversation that it just isn't done. And I definitely want to thank you for joining me on today's show. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk about this more in the future, Cheyenne. You are one of the best. Can you let everybody know where they can find you online?
Thank you, Robin.
Of course.
Everyone can find me on all social media platforms at Cheyenne Corinne, CHEYENNE. Thank you so much, Robin. I hope you have a good weekend. Bye, Andy.
Same to you. He says goodbye. All right. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. Well, you guys, 92% of you say we need to share more. Men need to share more and open up publicly about their challenges from childhood to help other men. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't know who said no. 8%. Somebody said no. Anyway, I agree with you guys. I enjoyed today's conversation with Cheyenne Corinne. I appreciate all of you, the Raw Squad, for checking in with me. Tomorrow, we are back at it. Hopefully, we're going to have some good, uplifting, light things to talk about, but you already know. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, is up next. I am your host, Robin Ayers, and remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former CNN News anchor Don Lemon is pressing Elon Musk in a new interview. Lemon was back on CNN Wednesday to promote the recent interview, which included Lemon talking to Musk about how a deal between them for Lemon to host a show on X fell apart. Lemon clarified that Musk was a distribution partner and not his boss, while he also went on to ask Musk about reports he had